KPTV presents the 2003 GHSA Football Semifinals. Funding for this program is provided in part by Georgia's Electric Membership Corporations, IBEW Local 613, South Trust Bank, Kroger, your Dodge Dealers of Georgia, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and by State Farm.
Good evening, everybody, and we've got another great game ahead of us. I'm Steak Shapiro along with Bo Bach. It's the 4A semifinals on a Friday night at the Georgia Dome, and you can't get better than this one. Thomas County Central and Marist have played some of the most exciting games in high school football over the last few years, Bo, and tonight should be no different. A great matchup.
Steak, what a rivalry this has been. I saw the teams about a half hour ago in the locker room, and Marist, quite frankly, was a little bit tight. This is a very important game to them to get Thomas County Central, and Thomas County was loosey-goosey, and they're ready for this. Is going to be up and down the field. Take a get ready pill.
Marist, of course, with that one state title in 1989. Thomas County Central has built a hell of a deal. 5 state titles, and Eric Walden's going to be a key tonight. Great option quarterback.
Rushed for 7 yards a carry, almost 700 yards, 1,100 yards rushing, and passed for over 500 yards. He's one of the keys. He makes it go for Thomas County Central.
And then
Moses Cochran is a senior running back. He rushed for over 1,100 yards for them, and he's really something. He's very quick, 6 yards per carry, and he had 16 rushing TDs. And now for Marist, let's take a look at who makes them go. Their quarterback, Sean McVeigh, is really something. He's rushed for 887 yards. He's completed over 50% of his passes. He's averaged 8.4 yards per carry for a total of over 900 yards. Also, their senior linebacker, Peter Guchenritter. And Guchenritter was the leading tackler on the team with 101 tackles. These guys are a very quick defense. They held Shaw to only 18 points a week ago. Shaw was averaging over 44.
Yeah, Shaw scored 17, but they win it 18-17. Don't forget Thomas County Central pitches a shutout last week, 20-0 over MLK. Big-time defenses. Let's go down to the field. Lisa Weiss gets us updated.
All right, thanks, Steak. Now, tonight's game is definitely a deja vu for both coaches. And the one thing they agree on is it doesn't matter who you play when you come to the Dome, as long as you're still playing this late in the season. Now, granted, Thomas County Central has beat Marist 5 times. 4 of those losses came right here. Once in the Corky Kell Classic, 3 times in the state semifinals. And in those 4 games, Marist lost by a combined total of just 9 points. Coach Alan Chadwick told me he lost a lot of sleep at night over those games. On the flip side, El Pilcher is well aware that Chadwick and the 37 seniors on this Marist team are hungry for a win. Now, State, Pilcher told me the one thing that worries him about this Marist team is their defense. He said they've always had a great offense, but this defense is the fastest defense he has ever seen.
Fastest defense they have ever seen. We're going to come back with this doozy right after this.
And we are live at the Georgia Dome. Steak Shapiro and Bo Bach, the 4A semifinals, and this is what a lot of people will tell you around the state, maybe the best matchup of the entire weekend. Thomas County Central, obviously one of the dominant programs, and then you see their head coach who, frankly, has built a dynasty. Ed Pilcher, 13th year at Thomas County Central, and he goes up against a Marist club that plays with a lot of confidence. They beat Shaw last week, 18-17, and they have Sean McVeigh. There's Alan Chadwick, of course, his 19th year at Marist. He's got the 1 state title, and they have never been in a groove like Marist football has been over the last few years. A devastating loss last year came down to a 2-point conversion. Thomas County Central went for it and got it, and Bo Marist would love to get their first win. They'll kick off, and we are underway for game number 4 at the Dome today. Daniels will return across the 10 to the 15 to 20, and he's cut down to the 25-yard line.
Well, Thomas County Central starts off here. Dean McDermott, their center, is a senior, and he's also a baseball prospect, and he's the one who gets this offensive line going, makes all the line calls for them. There you see Eric Walden completed 38 of 69. These guys are going to run it in a wing T veer, and this goes against a great Marist defense that's very fast.
You'll see two of the best option quarterbacks in the entire state. And the give is faked up the middle. Walden will keep it, get about 1.5 yards there. Nice job on pursuit by Marist.
Eric Walden getting the cobwebs out there. You see Ed Pilcher sending in the next play. There you see the lineup for Thomas County Central: Rice, Siplin, Crosby, Daniels, and McDermott, who we spoke about. And here they are: Dawson at running back, Harper at wide receiver, Cochran, Grant, and Rollins, the tight end.
2nd and 7. And the give is faked up the middle. Walden getting on the outside. And he's across the 50 to the 40. He jukes it. He's knocked all the way downfield. A huge run for Eric Walden. Finally brought down by Chris Davis. And that is exactly what Marist feared. The explosiveness and the athleticism of Eric Walden.
Well, Marist a little pumped up right now. They're not making their reads. They're diving at the ball, diving at the first fake. They took that play fake right there, and then Walden gets outside. You see the great speed. About a month ago, he had a bad knee, and Marist thought they'd get him a little banged up, but obviously he's 100%.
53 yards on that run. It's 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. The give is up the middle, and a bruising 7 yards from Moses Cochran.
Well, they look like they're fine-tuned, this Thomas County Central team. We talked about Marist's defense. Also particularly important for Marist this year for Alan Chadwick to get this win, because they have 37 seniors, State.
Kuchenritter, watch for him on defense. Also Ash Cootie and Donlin. Marist has Davis and Middleton as well. There's a timeout on the field. We're 2nd and 3, early going for a semifinal game. Live from the Georgia Dome, Marist and Thomas County Central. And again, very early on, you saw the option, and you saw Eric Walden explode for 53 yards. It's exactly what Marist is trying to avoid. Remember, these teams have played 5 times. Thomas County Central has won all of them over the years. 3 of them have come down to the final play, including a halfback option throw by Joe Burns. You remember him from Georgia Tech a number of years ago. The give is up the middle, across the 10 down to the 8-yard line. Cochran again, the big bruising back, brought down on the play by Andrew Deedy. That'll move the chains, and Mr. Bachman got a 1st and goal to go at the 8-yard line very, very early here. Marist defense backed up against their end zone.
Very important that they can hold them here to a field goal. It would be a victory for Marist.
Goal to goal from the 8. The give is straight up the middle, pretty decent pursuit there, down to about the 5-yard line. Again, they keep wearing out Moses Cochran, the fine running back senior, rushed for 1,250 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Stake, that time they spread it out a little bit, got the Marist defense spread out, and they just pounding them right up the middle.
Well, I'm sure that Ed Pilcher thrilled about this first drive. They were shut out in the first half bowl last week against MLK, a 0-0 score, and then exploded in the second half for the 20-0 win, which put them here at the Dome.
Marist in an over defense.
Walden under center. The give is outside of the tailback, and there's nothing there for Moses Cochran. Great pursuit by Marist.
Great defensive call for Marist, because in that over defense, they were kind of just tiptoeing to get Moses Cochran was to get to that point of attack, and a great defensive call for Marist.
Well, Peter Guchenritter, Andrew Deedy, and Taylor Cleveland really did a great job, the linebackers there. Now again, these teams will not throw the ball very often, but maybe 8 to 10 times at most in the game. Marist has had great success with big plays when they do throw it. Let's see what happens here. It's a 3rd and goal to goal from the 7.
And that was Taylor Cleveland from Marist, who had the contain, turned it inside.
Early going here. Walden looking to pass, end zone, touchdown! Beautiful strike, Hunter Harper. And just like that, Thomas County Central, bang, bang, A huge, accurate throw from Eric Walden.
What a great throw on the slant. He was wide open, and excellent hands on Hunter Harper. He just plucked it.
Well, Bo, they ran a great timing pattern there. Just a two-step drop, it looked like. Walden fired it. Jonathan Abarca with the extra point. Thomas County Central goes right down the field. Walden, a 53-yard run and an 8-yard touchdown pass. And that's the story early on here. 8:44 to go in the quarter. The kick is up and it's good. And Thomas County Central, the Yellow Jackets, march right down the field. And one more, let's look at the pass.
Take a look at a little play action there.
Great little inside route and a strike. And as you mentioned, Bo, great hands by Hunter Harper. But, you know, when you only throw it about 7 to 8 times a game, it's hard to have consistency and hard to be accurate all the time. Didn't look like that was a team that struggles throwing it at all right there.
And it was a great call, excellent call, because Marist is just packing it in, trying to take away the run. Then you come play action, go up top and throw a strike with the first ball of the game. It was excellent by Eric Walden.
Scoring drive, 6 plays, 75 yards, took 3 minutes and 16 seconds. The touchdown catch by Harper, a 7-yard catch. But of course the big play, guys, Eric Walden, the 53-yard run down the sideline, Bo, and again, that put Marist on their heels. And as you mentioned, Bo, you think Marist feeling a lot of pressure to break the streak.
Yeah, that just reminded me of that. A lot of pressure to break the streak. In the locker room, very quiet, very somber. Thomas County Central is more loosey-goosey.
And that'll go into the end zone. William Middleton, who also plays safety, will retrieve it there. And Marist.
Touchback. In high school, you can't run it out of the end zone.
Yeah, it's a touchback, and Sean McVay takes the field. He, of course, 850 yards passing, 7 touchdowns and 4 interceptions on the season. This kid may be as talented a player and as smart a player as there is in the state. This is what makes Marist go, and we'll see what the War Eagles have in mind here right out of the gate. First is 10 from the 20. The kid is right straight ahead of Chris Davis. He gets pounded down, gain of about 4 yards on the play.
Chris Davis with a dive right up the middle. And by the way, it's Sean McVay. I understand Tulane is looking at him, Stakes.
Yeah, Tulane, Georgia Tech, a few other schools. He's a very, very bright kid, as so many of these kids are in the Marist club.
In the backfield, that's Scrudy and Russell for Marist, along with McVay.
2nd down and 6, 8:16 to go. 4A first quarter between Marist and Thomas County Central. McVay under center. He'll keep it, and he'll get drilled there at the 26-yard line. Let's set up a 3rd and 4. Brandon Burns, the free safety, steps up and makes the play there. And Bo, don't you think Marist would love to keep their defense off the field right now and be able to sustain something?
Oh, absolutely, definitely want to get something going. Here's how they line up: Pickett and Diggs for Thomas County Central, along with Flournoy and Daniels and Jones at the corners and Burns at free safety. I wonder if he's related.
3rd and 3, 7:35 to go, quarter number 1, 4A semifinal game, Marist and Thomas County Central. We'll see what Sean McVay has in mind here. The give is outside. They get the first down and more at the 50, the 40, and cut down there at the 35-yard line. Anderson Russell, this is a junior, as talented as any tailback in this game. They've been waiting for him. Talking to the Marist coaches to break out, he does right there.
Well, talk about the Marist offensive line. Watch the blocking here. Look at the whole, as he goes outside. Tremendous blocking, taking the pursuit from inside out, and he just picks him up and puts him down. Look at this touchdown-saving tackle. What a great tackle for Thomas County Central.
Again, a great pitch play on 3rd and 3. They get a nice little hole, and Anderson Russell is off to the races. A 39-yard scamper. Back out of the wishbone here, Sean McVay, 1st and 10, they're at the 34. The give is again to Russell, and Russell pounds his way down for about 3 yards. But Marist got exactly what they wanted, Bo, which is converting a 3rd down play and making it a big one.
This is Anderson Russell, 66 yards, 66 rushes for 361. He's averaging 5.5 yards per carry. That last run will really help.
Well, Dave, talking to the Marist coaches before the game, they said Anderson Russell has the potential to just have a breakout game. They think he's that talented. He's the only junior in that backfield, Bo, and think about him coming back next year. He looks impressive right out of the gate. 2nd and 7, ball on the 31-yard line of Thomas County Central. McVeigh under center. They trail 7-0 Marist. And the give is straight ahead, pounding about 4 yards. Chris Davis, the tailback. And that'll set up a 3rd down again for Marist, an important 3rd down.
Great block on that play by Andy Norwood, the center for Marist. And in the previous play, the Marist offensive line absolutely mashed Thomas County Central. That's going to be a factor, that senior-laden offensive line of Marist versus Thomas County Central. So far, Marist is very good at getting off the ball.
Let's mention those that group, by the way. Rumsey, the senior. Casey Murphy, the senior. Andy Norwood, a senior. So is Salzillo and Bradford. 5 seniors up front. 3rd and 4. Marist, the pitch is outside of Davis. Davis across the 20 to the 18-yard line, and Marist is in business. 1st and 10, Brandon Burns comes up to make the hit. But another 3rd down conversion for Marist.
I don't know about you. I was expecting maybe a low-scoring game tonight. The way these offenses are moving the ball, it's liable to be up and down all evening.
Well, last week, it took a 77-yard drive late by Marist to beat #1 ranked Shaw in a thriller, 18-17. Sean McVeigh had the pickoff at the end of the game to win it for Marist. And as we mentioned, it was a 20-0 win over MLK that got Thomas County Central here. 1st and 10 at the 18. McVeigh will keep it, and he is cut down, gain of about 2 yards. It looks, Bo, early on like Thomas County Central really focusing on taking away Sean McVeigh.
Yeah, very much so. And even though the offensive line again just caved it into the inside, it was a great play by the Thomas County Central defensive tackle to bring down McVeigh.
Yeah, that's Edward Jenkins, Bo. He's a junior, number 39. He had 5 sacks on the year. Impressive play up front. There's McVeigh's rushing touchdowns in his career. 32 of them, 2,200 yards. This kid is truly special. 2nd and 8, ball at the 16-yard line. Marist driving on Thomas County Central. They trail 7-0. And McVeigh will get drilled after a gain of about 2 or 3 on the play. Jeremiah Freeman, the senior, 122 tackles on the year, comes up and makes the hit.
Boy, that was a textbook tackle. Watch this. McVeigh's got a little room to work here, but just a tremendous textbook tackle.
And there he is, 101 tackles, 10 of them for losses, 4 sacks on the year. I got another 20, maybe that's the postseason for Mr. Freeman. Another big 3rd down conversion for Marist, 3rd and 4 from the 12. McVeigh will keep it. McVeigh at the 10, McVeigh at the 5. He's in for the touchdown. Sean McVeigh, the senior, doing what he does best, and Marist answers on their 3rd straight 3rd down conversion.
You know, Sean McVeigh is a 4'5" guy. He ran that like he's 4'3". He really turned the corner.
Well, talking to the Marist coaches, they said not only is this kid talented, but he's the smartest football player that they've ever seen. Knows when to pitch, knows when to keep it, knows how to run the wishbone, knows
Obviously,
how to run the option.
The pitch was there, and he decided to keep it.
He loves to hold the football bow and make it happen. Mike Matamore here with the extra point, try to tie things up. Game is living up to billing early on. The kick is up, and it is money. So Thomas County Central goes right down the field thanks to a 53-yard run by Eric Walton. And then, of course, the touchdown pass on the other end of the deal. Anderson Russell's 39-yard scamper helped set up Sean McVeigh. And again, you see the replay here. A great job finding the hole, and then there's the speed factor as they were not going to catch him into the end zone, Sean McVeigh. And that's the guy, if you are Alan Chadwick and know it's in his hands, you feel pretty good, Bo, about your opportunities.
And that a boy to Chris Bradford, the tackle for Marist, who got out there and just slowed down the pursuit so McVeigh could score.
Let's go to Lisa Weiss. She is on the sideline, has got something for us.
You know, I talked to Alan Chadwick during practice this week, and I asked him if there was one offensive player that really stood out in his mind that really helped carry this team all year. And he said, honestly, he's like, it's been my entire offensive line. He's like, they've played unbelievable this year. And you know what? They're continuing to do that here at the Dome. Back to you, Steak.
Great point, Lisa. And we talked about that group there, and I'm sure they got friends and family either watching or will be getting a copy of the tape. So let's again mention those guys up front. Bradford, Salzillo, Norwood, Murphy, and Rumsey. And a 9-play drive covering 80 yards. Crucial, both for Marist to answer Thomas County Central.
Very much so. And I think also takes Thomas County Central, the momentum they had, puts it in perspective.
And they'll start from the 20. Gavoris Daniels retrieves that on the touchback, and we'll get back in action here with Eric Walden and that talented group. Should mention number 36, David Dawson, who was a big part of their success this year. The tailback, the senior, rushed for over 1,000 yards. He is banged up, and don't know how much he's going to be able to play tonight. You saw Moses Cochran get the majority of the carries. Philip Prather may see some more time. The carry is straight ahead. Moses Cochran about 5 yards on that one.
Cochran already has about 6 carries in this game, and you can see what a tough runner he is.
5 carries for 17 yards, Bo, for Moses Cochran early on. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. The matchup in 4A semis here on a Friday night at the Georgia Dome. It's already been an incredible day of football with close games and comebacks and last-second efforts. And that's what you expect in the high school semis. They give it straight ahead up the middle, and a big-time run for Philip Prather. He's down to the 30 and cut down there finally. A touchdown-saving tackle by William Middleton. But that's the kid I told you about, Bo, who's seeing a little bit of extra time today. A huge run for Philip Prather. He's only a junior, and he really looked big time on that play.
Boy, he was fast. That was a quick hitter, a quick opener. Look at that offensive line. We talked about Maris's offensive line, but how about Thomas County Central? And they seem to be negating Maris's speed.
Yeah, that was a 48-yard run. That'll set him up 1st and 10 at the Maris 27. The give is ahead for a couple of yards to Moses Cochran. Why don't we mention the Thomas County Central big fellas up front? Ryan Rice, the senior, at 293 pounds. Kendrick Sipland, a junior, at 251. Dean McDermott's their center. He's a senior, weighing 205 pounds. Jermel Daniels, junior, 307 pounds. And then Chris Crosby, the senior, at 267.
And this is why Maris was tight before the game. You can look on your screen. 4 times they met at the Georgia Dome, and Thomas County Central has won all of them.
It has been a heartbreaking situation. The give is right up the gut, and Moses Cochran just pounds his way close to the first down. But already, Bo, we have seen some big-time plays on the ground from both these teams.
I'm thinking that Maris may make a defensive adjustment and stack their linebackers, get them closer to the line of scrimmage. Very difficult in high school to do something, or in any brand of football, to do something you haven't done all year, but they've got to get more people closer to the line of scrimmage, because right now the defensive front of Maris is not holding up.
3rd and 2. And we got a flag on the play. And it looks like it's going to be on Thomas County Central. May have been too much time, or formation, we'll find out. Mr. Huffman will help us out.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. Replay, 3rd down.
And there you go, 3rd and 7. Bo, the last 3rd and 7 they faced, Eric Walton threw a strike. Interesting to see if Thomas County Central go through the air again here. Again, we stress, you're not going to see the ball in the air much in this game. These are 2 teams that have really built their tradition around running the football.
You're running it so well, and you have field position here. I don't know if they'll throw it, but they spread it out.
They're in the shotgun, Bo. I would think they would. 3rd and 7 here, minute to go in quarter number 1. Walden's with it. Walden is cut down there behind the line of scrimmage. John Crawford kind of wrapped him up there. Big-time defensive stop.
They spread it out, and they wanted to put the ball in Walden's hands, spread the field, allow him room to work.
Brought down on the play, Andrew Deedy coming up and making the hit finally there. A big defensive stand for the Marist War Eagles there.
And obviously Marist on film has seen that set from them before, and they were not fooled by the offensive formation.
Jonathan Abarca, the junior, will attempt the field goal.
Look at John Crawford there. He's got 15 tackles for losses.
A 46-yard attempt for Thomas County Central. Will they waste the big 48-yard scamper by Prather? We shall see with 20 seconds to go in quarter number 1. and that's going to be short. Interesting to mention, Bo, last year's game came down to a 50-yard field goal from Marist to tie it and send it to overtime. Marist made the kick. They went to overtime. They scored. Thomas County Central scores as well. And then in a certainly a gutsy move, Ed Pilcher goes for 2, gets it, game over, and the Marist War Eagles devastated again. But again, a 50-yarder, you talk about clutch, a kid stepping up and making that play. Marist takes over here, 7-all tie. 16 seconds ago, quarter number 1. Both teams scored on their opening possession. This is the second time that Marist has had it. Wishbone behind him, the handoff is to Chris Davis. And Davis grinds his way for about 3 yards, and that will do it for quarter number 1. It had all the excitement and the big plays that you would expect from 2 of the great programs in the state of Georgia, Thomas County Central and Marist. As the first quarter comes to an end, it was a touchdown throw from Eric Walden, a touchdown run by Sean McVay. And we'll come back to the Georgia Dome. Get you caught up. End of the first quarter. Thomas County Central Marist, 7-all. You're watching GP TV. He's here. And there he is, Mike Gammons from Thomasville, Georgia. And he gets us going again. He does that with such panache.
Yeah, he's the guy who lets the referees know when we're back, and he was waving to his wife in Thomasville.
He is a very, very talented man right there.
I'm looking at Mike. He would either be here or in the gym. Big old guy.
Steak Shapiro and Bo Bach back at the Georgia Dome. This is game number 4, the 4A semifinals. And you see Thomas County, 124 yards, I believe, total yards. Marist getting the ball back, has had 72. Both teams moving the ball very, very effectively in the first quarter with 3 huge plays on the ground. McVay gives straight ahead, and that's Anderson Russell, again, the junior tailback who had the big run in that first possession. And he bangs ahead for a few yards. He'll set up a 3rd and 2 for Marist.
We should see 2 different teams right now. Both teams have gone to the sideline, have had a chance to make adjustments. I think both lines have settled down now. We should see some different football from that wide open, big gap football that we saw in the first quarter.
2 of the great programs in the state battling in the Georgia Dome. It's become old hat. Can Marist finally get a W? 3rd and 2. McVay under pressure and brought down. He's sacked on the play as a total jailbreak situation. Mark Pickett, the fine linebacker, was in on that play. and Tremaine Flanoy, the senior, as well as McVeigh had absolutely no chance there.
Stake, he had a receiver to the short side, or rather to the field, and then slipped the tight end across the middle, tried to hit him, but he had no time to look.
No time, but I mean, it was a total penetration by Thomas County Central. Our first punt of the game, Sean McVeigh. He does it all. He also plays on the defensive side of the football. He'll kick. Kavoris Daniels will return. And he'll have a chance to do just that. Daniels trying to get outside, and he is cut down at the 42-yard line.
Well, it was a low-line drive, returnable kick, and Marist lost contained, but they had the pursuit up the middle.
Andrew Deedy and Peter Gutschenritter with the hits.
Well, look at that Marist crowd getting a little
Mark your calendar, guys, for Friday night, January 30th, for the return of Georgia's longest-running high school sports and academics program, Prep Sports Plus. You'll meet some of Georgia's most successful student-athletes, athletic programs, and much more. That's Prep Sports Plus, returning on Friday, January 30th at 11 o'clock, exclusively on GPTV. Second and 6, by the way, after a four-yard run for Philip Prattle. 10 minutes to go in quarter number 2. Stake Shapiro and Bobach live at the Georgia Dome here on GPTV. It's the 4A semifinal game, Thomas County Central and Marist. Thomas County Central went on their first possession in for 7. Marist did the same. The give is straight ahead, and Moses Cochran grinding his way down. Looks like he's got the first down. This is a tough hombre, Bo. Has not had any big runs, but he has been battling.
Moses Cochran runs as hard as anybody in the state of Georgia, and he gets his speed going pretty quickly. Look at him keep those legs churning. Look at that, breaking tackles.
Chris Ashkuti and Andrew Card in on the play. 9 rushes for 35 yards for Moses Cochran.
Averaging only about 3.1 yards per carry at this point. I would have guessed that he was averaging more. They've got it.
Looked like Sean McVeigh, Bo, on that previous possession. Again, we talked about these two teams do not throw the football a lot, but in talking to Alan Chadwick and talking about that Marist team, when they have thrown it, it's usually gone for some big plays. And that last possession, they just didn't have a chance to do anything.
Well, it had those two options, and if it was open deep, he was going to throw it, or else he had the drag play to the tight end coming across the middle.
Walden will keep it and throw it. And falling down on the play was Hunter Harper, who had the touchdown catch earlier. We talk about throwing the ball. That's the second attempt by Walden tonight. He's now 1 for 2.
That was a throw or run option, and I'm surprised he took the throw. I thought he was in space and might have been able to do something, but he also had a wide open receiver and just was not accurate.
That'll bring up a 2nd and 10 from the 47-yard line of Marist. Thomas County Central and Marist even at 7. Hunter Harper had a touchdown catch in quarter number 1. Sean McVeigh had a touchdown run for Marist. And it looks like a flag down. Wow, maybe a formation or maybe a delay of game, looks like, for Thomas County Central. This will set up a 2nd and 15.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense.
That was my own false start. It was not a delay of game, and it will still set up a similar 2nd and 15. Thomas County Central now backed up on the other side of the 50-yard line, as Marist a little more to work with now, putting Thomas County to 2nd and long. There is Alan Chadwick, who's done such a phenomenal job building Marist into one of the great football powers in the state. The swing pass is outside to Kavoris Daniels, and a beautifully run play down the sideline. And again, Eric Walden real comfortable rolling right and hitting him in stride.
Well-designed play, and you can see what an accurate throw that is, and he catches on the dead run, and that's good for a first down, I believe. They may measure. I think that's a first down.
Very well
calling
executed.
It short, calling it 3rd and 1.
Daniels, of course, 2 touchdowns on the year, 12 catches, 138 yards receiving. But again, for Marist, really letting Thomas County Central off the hook there. 3rd, and it looks like less than 1, Bo, for the first down here. Almost impossible scenario in stopping Thomas County here. I imagine they'll take 2 plays if they need to try to get it. Eric Walden under center, 3rd and 1 ball at the 38, and he's got the first down, and Thomas County Central continues to drive the football. Taylor Cleveland and Andrew Deedy in on the play.
Dean McDermott again, that Thomas County Central center, doing a great job in the interior of that line. Watch him, number 55, getting room for him to work.
Chadwick still very upset. He gives it straight ahead up the middle, and that is Philip Prather again. A gain of about 13 yards on the play, and a perfectly executed Peter Gutschenritter has the tackle. But that's another first down for Thomas County Central. They're down to the Marist 23.
Marist defense on the line, on the field quite a bit now. It just it's going to take its toll in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
Got to find a way to slow these guys down.
They are carving up the yardage, Bo, and again, the give is straight ahead. And no, I'm saying keeper by Walden. He's across the 10. He's at the 5. He's in for the touchdown. And we talked about 2 of the great option quarterbacks. You saw it there. Eric Walden doing his thing.
The hole was there. If he wanted to give it to the dive man, he pulled it back, took it outside, and then put on a Crazy Legs Hirsch impersonation.
Eric Walden has shown great poise tonight, Bo. Throwing the football, running the football. He's having a huge night. And Thomas County Central chance to go up by 7. Jonathan Abarca with the attempt.
Marist got great penetration. Looked like they had a chance to block that kick.
Well, perfectly executed option here. You see Walden keeps it, throws a great little juke there, faked him right out of his shorts, cornerback Chris Davis. I mean, Bo, that was a big-time play. Give Chris Davis credit for staying in there. But look at the juke he puts on him right there.
Yeah.
Davis got caught standing straight up, Bo.
That's Chili Davis, and they put a move on him. Look at him right here. Look at those hips.
Wow. That's Chili Davis?
That's Chili Davis right there.
Is that his nickname?
Yep.
7 plays, 57 yards, took 2 minutes. And the 23-yard touchdown run by Eric Walden. Bo, this kid is really impressive.
Well, he and Sean McVay both. College scouts are licking their chops over these 2 quarterbacks.
Walden reminds you a little bit of Reggie Ball, his ability to run and pass. The outstanding freshman quarterback for Georgia Tech who played his high school football way at Stevenson, along with Greg Lumpkin.
Georgia's Greg Lumpkin. Yeah. For them at Stevenson in Atlanta, Stone Mountain.
And here is the kick. William Middleton will return. And he's across the 21-yard line. And that is where Sean McVay will take over. But Marist, as you said, Bo, really having problems slowing down Thomas County Central. Eric Walden doing a phenomenal job on that last drive. And we'll see what Sean McVay can answer with.
Now the pressure on the Marist defense to answer that score.
Marist offense to
the Marist offense, right?
Total yards so far, you see it, 183 for Thomas County Central. For the Jackets and Marist, War Eagles 70. McVay will hold it and be cut down there, nowhere to go. Jeremiah Freeman, we know about the senior linebacker, and he continues to make plays. Sean McVay cut down, no gain on the play, set up a 2nd and 10. 7 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Quarter number 2, it is Thomas County Central leading Marist 14-7 in the 4A semifinal game here at the Dome.
And you see the way the Yellow Jacket defense has settled in. That was great look from them and reaction.
2nd and 9. We'll give McVay a yard on that play here. Give it straight ahead, and again, nothing there for Chris Davis.
Patrick Diggs on the tackle. Boy, he read that and put a great hit on Davis. Look at him here. Look at that tackle. No hole there.
And that, of course, is the fullback, Michael Ashkuti. The fake was to Davis, and Ashkuti there. Look at Patrick Diggs, what a season he's had. And he, again, a real key when you talk about the Thomas Central linebackers, Diggs and Jeremiah Freeman, Mark Pickett and Tremaine Flanoy. 3rd and 9. McVay will roll right. He wants to throw. He's in trouble. And he is cut down from behind. A big-time tackle. Here he is again. Jeremiah Freeman dominating this football game. And they'll be forced to punt.
Watch this. They just
look at them string this thing out, bro.
They just great balance on the defense, and you can also call this maybe a coverage sack if he was behind the line of scrimmage. But he wanted to throw it, and the secondary did a tremendous job.
Really outstanding pursuit, Bo. McVay will punt away. I mean, stringing that thing out. You know, McVay so dangerous when he gets outside, either running or throwing, and there just wasn't anything there. Thomas County Central getting the football back. Here's the punt by McVay, and a fair catch called for by Kavoris Daniels, the senior, number 18.
And here comes that Marist defense back on the field. So quick.
Well, they've given up a lot of yards, Bo, and you know, Thomas County Central has basically had their way as Eric Walden has been a lot to handle. 5:55 to go in quarter number 2. It's time for the Marist defense to step up here. Walden to give it straight ahead. There he is again, Moses Cochran, grinding his way for about 6 or 7 yards, down at about the 46-yard line. Gain of 7 on the play.
Great hole by the Thomas County Central offensive line. The Yellow Jackets are really starting to take charge now.
We'll give him 6. It's 2nd and 4. Eric Walden, that impressive senior quarterback, totally in control. Sean McVay on the other side for Marist, starting to have some problems with that defense. Nice straight ahead by Philip Prather. Prather, of course, had that big 48-yard run earlier. They didn't score out of it. They missed a field goal, but again, part of the big plays early on for Thomas County.
And averaging over 4 yards a carry right now as a team. And you've got to, obviously, 3 times 4 is 12. That's a first down. They've got to find a way to stack those linebackers, get them close to the line of scrimmage.
3 times 4 is 12.
Go with that.
So what does that mean? They do that 3 times, they're going to be just moving down the field.
Hello.
Math doesn't work for Marist. They'll measure on this play. You know, the thing with Thomas County Central, they come with so many different weapons. We talked about Moses Cochran. Philip Prather has already done a lot tonight. Eric Walden, so dangerous. Hunter Harper, the wide receiver, made a great play on the early touchdown. And they will just keep coming at you. They get that fine group up front with 3 seniors and 2 juniors. The 2 guards, Kendrick Stephen and Jamel Daniels. Both the juniors, the rest of the offensive line are seniors, and now we'll see what the offensive line can do here. 3rd and 1. Marist needs to make a play on defense. They have not been able to all night long. The give is straight ahead, and that's an easy first down. And man, oh man, Jamel Daniels and Dean McDermott, give credit to that right side of the offensive line. Both they drove Marist back about 5 yards.
Tell me about it. You've got to find a way. We keep talking about it. Get those Marist linebackers involved. Look at this. Talk about getting off the ball. Look at that tackle line. That tackle line is 5 yards downfield.
Look at Moses Cochran.
Boom. Look at the leverage.
Look at the tailback, Bo, Moses Cochran, who just drills.
That was Chris Crosby right there at the front of your screen, an offensive tackle for the Yellow Jackets.
Give it straight ahead. Nice pursuit and a hit there on Walden as breaking in from the line there. Initially to cut down Walden, but the kid was to Cochran, who gains about 2 on the play. The pursuit there by Andrew Deedy. And again, he is going to have to continue to try to break through that line and help Marist make plays. Thomas County Central has not punted tonight. They drove the length of the field in their first possession, scored a touchdown. Their second possession, they missed a field goal, 46 yards. They scored in their next possession. They are continuing to drive right here. 4 minutes to go, quarter number 2, 2nd and 8 for Thomas County Central. Walden gives the handoff inside to Philip Prater. And again, Marist, a big stop and Bow. That sets up a 3rd and 7. They're out of field goal range. They're at the 42. This is a big play early on in this football game.
Well, let's see if they spread the field this time and give him the run-pass option. Last time, Marist was able to snuff it out.
Alan Chadwick, very intense, very upset.
Well, Snake, he knows he's got 37 seniors, and it's going to be very difficult next year, and they want to get it with his senior class. Obviously wants to beat Thomas County.
Timeout on the play called.
They were unsure
Thomas.
of their formation, didn't know exactly what they wanted to do there, and had to take the timeout with the clock running out.
You know, you can't say enough about the program that Ed Pilcher has put together at Thomas County Central. You're talking about 13 years there, 5 state championships, rather 6 state championships.
There's Ed Pilcher talking to his tight end, Frankie Rollins.
They had a 5-year stretch where they were as dominant as any football team could be in the state. I want to remind you about a couple of things here on GP TV. Tonight's game can also be viewed live on the GP TV internet site, www.gpb.org. Just follow the links to connect to the game. All the games from the Dome this weekend will be archived and available on the GPB website as well. That's www.gpb.org. A big play coming up. Thomas County Central, 3rd and 7.
Frankie Rollins had lined up on the wrong side of the formation. That's what caused the last time out.
All right, Walden will roll and get cut down there by Greg Van Valkenburg. He's their leading sack man of the season. And he has a huge play there by the senior, and Maris holds and will get the football back. Nothing there for Eric Walden.
Look at him fight through that block. What a great football play. See that? Double team, gets through it, gets sideways.
Greg Van Valkenburg, just a great play by the senior. 10 sacks on the year. I told you he leads the team, and never did they need one more than right there.
Look at the spread punt formation.
And that is a shank off the side of the foot.
Yeah, Maris says,
Hunter.
thank you very much.
Yes, indeed. Bada boom. Hunter Harper, the punt, and it was a 12-yarder, Bo. That was a rough deal, and Ed Pilcher could not be happy with that.
No, certainly not. He's still upset with Frankie Rollins, though, because you want to run that play. You didn't want to have to take the timeout, and he wanted to. You have the option of dragging the tight end, but the tight end lined up on the strong side at the same side as his wide receivers.
33-yard line, Marist. They need to go 67 yards to get something going here to get a touchdown and tie this game. Only got 2 minutes to do it. The give is to the fullback, Michael Cootie, and Cootie gets not much there, and we're down to almost 2 minutes left in the first half.
Thomas County Central doing a great job, their defensive line there, of creating a pile. It's almost as if they're playing in short yardage situation against this offense, particularly against that dive. If you can't make the play, you go at his feet, make a pile, let somebody else make the play. That's what happens.
When you are not used to throwing the football, you're in a tough position here. Sean McVay is, with under 2 minutes to go in the half and a long way to go to try to get even in field goal range. And McVay gives straight ahead to Michael Ashkuti, and the fullback pounds his way out to the 42-yard line, setting up a
3rd and short.
Yeah, 3rd and 1, and of course no huddle here. Now a timeout call by the Marist War Eagles. Listen to the hitting up front here, Mr. Bond.
Oh yeah. Oh baby, teeth rattlers.
That's some big boys banging up front. Let's mention the offensive line of Marist. They're all seniors, and they are an impressive group. Chris Bradford, Alex Cizillo, Andy Norwood, Casey Murphy, and Matt Rumsey. On the other side, they're matching up against Thomas County Central's. A couple of big boys. Denzel Marable, 7 sacks and 80 tackles on the year. He's number 91. He's been a huge piece of Thomas County's success this year. Of course, the defensive end, Ben Williams, has 4 sacks in the year. He's a senior. Edward Jenkins has 5 sacks in the year, defensive tackle. And then playing Bill Gloucester, actually starting.
Only a sophomore.
Yeah.
Not many sophomores in this game.
2 very experienced clubs, 2 of the great programs around the state of Georgia, and a great night for football here in the 4A semifinals at the Georgia Dome on a Friday night in December. I know outdoor football is great tradition, but a lot of these people are very happy to be tucked indoors tonight.
What a thrill. If these kids never play another game of football, these seniors, they'll never forget this night.
3rd and 1, McVeigh at the 42-yard line. Marist wanting to hold the football and get some more points on the board. The give is straight ahead. Outside, Michael Ishkudi. He's cut down to the 50-yard line by Brandon Burns, the free safety. And in a no-huddle situation, it looks like they'll move the chains for the first down, but Marist is in business.
Excellent open field tackle by Burns, and here comes Marist. And this Marist club makes his, when I had an opportunity to be around them, makes great adjustments on the sideline.
Right in midfield, McVeigh, he'll throw, complete, out to the sidelines.
Didn't get out of bounds. That's what the Marist sideline is showing about. They're going to take a timeout.
Andrew Card with the catch on the sideline there, number 29. And another timeout now by the Marist War Eagles. You see, he tries to get outside, but his knee touches the ground before his body gets out.
Just inside the boundary.
Alan Chadwick not happy with that call either. It happened right in front of the Marist War Eagles bench.
Ed Pilcher of the Yellow Jackets really likes the way this game is going so far, obviously.
Coming up next, Bo, 5A game. You can't ask for better than this.
Camden County and Noonan. Kickoff right after this game.
Yeah, about 30 minutes after this game, Mr. Bach. You got to give the boys some time to leave the field.
You want to warm up? You want to warm up?
Yeah, well, I mean, if it happens right after, you're going to have 2 teams on both sidelines, and that may be a problem. But I understand. Very quickly afterwards. All the games today have been close. All the games today have come down to final possessions, essentially. And I wouldn't expect anything different from this one or the one coming up. McVeigh out of the shotgun on 2nd and 4. Drops back to pass. He has some time, and he hits Chris Davis, who does get out of bounds. Nice job there at the 37-yard line.
And nice arm from McVeigh, too. He looks as though he can throw it. He could develop into being more of a passing quarterback.
Well, it's not going to happen, Bo. His future is in the secondary. That's what
absolutely
Tulane is looking at him, and Georgia Tech and some other schools. If he's going to play at the next level, that's probably where he's going to end up. Remember, Sean McVeigh is the one who had the interception against Shaw last week in that 18-17 win from Marist. He picked off in the final possession a huge play ending that game, and he also was the guy that had the touchdown run, Bo. That's called big man on campus this week at Marist. First and 10, 36-yard line of Thomas County Central. Swing pass outside, and he's going to look to throw it. Nothing there, nothing doing, and a little swing pass to Christopher Ashkudi, the wide receiver, and he was looking to go down the field with it, but they snipped it out. No trick play action there.
Well, they had a safety back there. They also had another safety in a corner. They had him front and back.
Randy Jones, by the way, great job on the tackle there on Chris Ashkudi. 2nd and 16, 30 seconds to go, rolling out McVeigh. He's in trouble, they'll string him out. McVeigh trying to get outside, he'll throw it down the field. He's got a man wide open! Touchdown, Marist! Wow, Anderson Russell somehow got behind the secondary, and the War Eagles come up with a huge play.
Well, shades of Tim Jennings versus LSU. The play took so long to develop. The corner gave up on the play. He started to peek back and look at the quarterback, and that's when he threw it over the top. That's what LSU did to Georgia in the first meeting earlier this year.
Anderson Russell already has a 39-yard run, and the junior there,
Mike Matamore with
42-yard touchdown catch. The kick is up, and it is good. And watch Sean McVay rolling right. The sideline is his victim, is his enemy, I should say. He throws it down the field, and Anderson Russell, a huge mistake by the Thomas County Central secondary. I mean, just huge, Bo.
Russell, that took so long to develop. Russell said it must be a run, it must be something else. And when you turn around, not only did he turn around, but he started to come back toward the line of scrimmage, hoping to support in the run.
7 plays, 67 yards, a minute 56. And again, it doesn't get any bigger than that. Let's take another look at it, Bo. I'm not so sure that he was coming back to block. I just think Thomas
Not
County
to block, he was coming back to support, the run defense. See, he started to run full. I'm talking about the corner. I'm talking about the corner. Brandon Burns. Yeah,
Brandon Burns got sucked up, Bo. And I think when you saw the sideline there, it looked like McVay really didn't even have a throw.
Right.
Because he's running so hard in order to set himself and be able to get the throw off. It didn't look like he could pull it off, but he fired that thing. And again, a huge mistake by the Thomas County Central secondary. Devastating to go into the locker room here without a lead. And for Marist, it could not be any bigger. You know, you were dominated for much of the first half. You finally got your big guys on defense to make a play. Andrew Dede made a big play, and of course, Volkenberger up front, so the seniors step up, and then the other senior, Sean McVay, has the throw. 20 seconds left here in the half, and they'll call that a touchback, and I imagine that Thomas County Central will probably take a knee, and absolutely nobody in the Georgia Dome should be surprised that this is a tie game at halftime. These two teams have played some of the closest, most exciting games that the playoffs have seen over the last, really the last 7-8 years.
No, but you might be surprised if you just tuned in, saw the clock running out on the first half and where Marist was starting that drive and thinking they had their work cut out for them, and then to get a touchdown over the top like that was magical.
If they win this football game, Bo, that drive will be the key. They're out of a shotgun formation. Eric Walden, he's got a 4 wide receiver set. And he throws to the sideline. He was caught and out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Hunter Harper. And clearly, Bo, Ed Pilcher is not interested.
No knees. There's no knees on these guys.
How much can you really get done, Bo? 18 seconds left. They're at the 29-yard line. It's a 2nd and 1.
But think about the way they've broken runs. Your offensive line doing a great job.
But they're in a shotgun formation, but with 4 wideouts.
I'm talking about now. Just get it downfield. Now you can open up your playbook. Just get some breathing room. Now you can look at doing something else.
Walden will swing pass out to the sideline, and good pursuit there by Marist, and that will create a first down, and it looks like a timeout.
Just a little funnel screen there. Not a great call against the Marist defense, you would think on paper, with the way they pursue it coming inside out, and then you're running back toward them.
Kavoris Daniels with the catch, and Gucci Ritter and Ashkuti making the tackle. 10 seconds to go. And Coach Chadwick, that was a gift. I mean, a phenomenal play by Sean McVay and Anderson Russell.
Yeah.
You just do not expect to see a kid with so little time on the clock getting behind the secondary the way he did. And Sean McVay showing that athleticism, running towards the sideline, letting it go. Coming up a little bit later, highlights from the Dome with Jim Giannacchio. Nobody does it better, following the 4A game each night at 9 o'clock. Mr. Giannacchio takes you through the entire day. So take out the pizza menu, sit back on the Barca Lounge, and get ready to watch some great high school football tonight as we continue on here with GPTV. 1st and 10. Eric Walden back to pass. He'd like to fire this thing downfield, and there was a little bit of a seam there for Hunter Harper. He overthrows him, though, but he had a little bit of daylight.
Yeah, he did, and that's what they like to do with him. I love that formation with Eric Walden's gifts. He's got the ability to operate in space. They spread the formation with 4 wides, had 1 back, no tight, and just was able to get him down the middle of the field. It would take a perfectly thrown ball. Not bad coverage, but
would have had to been a perfect throw.
Yeah.
And exactly what you said. The coverage was there, but there was a seam. And, hey, that's why Coach Pilfer says, you know what, maybe we make a play. They made a play, maybe we make a play. Not much to do here except a Hail Mary type situation. 4 wide receivers set. Eric Walden out of shotgun. 4 seconds left first half. Marist, Thomas County Central tied at 14-all at the 4A semi game here in the Georgia Dome on a Friday night. Walden's going to let it go downfield, and it is intercepted by Andrew Card, and that will end a first half in which two of the best in the state traded big plays. None bigger than the 42-yard strike from McVay to Anderson Russell. And we will go down to Lisa Weiss in a second with Coach Chadwick. Find out how he's feeling.
Boy, Eric Walden's got an arm too, Steak.
Let's go to Lisa Weiss and the coach.
Coach Chadwick, I know you have 37 seniors on this team, and in that last drive, Sean McVay certainly looked like a veteran quarterback driving his team down the field.
Well, he certainly did. He showed a great deal of poise right there. He really got whacked as he was throwing the ball out of bounds. We were fortunate right there. We really were. We had a busted play, but our running back, Anderson Russell, found an open area right behind the secondary, and we came up with a big play. And that's what it's going to take to win the game.
What's your biggest concern about the second half?
Well, we got to slow them down a little bit better, and we got to get some more consistency on offense, moving the football on the ground.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
So there you have it. First half has come to a close, and Alan Chadwick said it. Busted play on top of it, kids. So, my, oh my, we have a good one. It's the 4A semifinals. Thomas County Central 14. Marist 14. Bobach. Steak Shapiro coming back. And we're back here at the Georgia Dome on a Friday night. My name is Steak Shapiro from Sports Talk 790 The Zone, Atlanta's sports leader, and what we think one of the great sports stations in America. Bo Bach, my partner on the air, on some television as well. And Bo, we're getting a great game. And the tradition of high school football also extends to the fine marching bands. Let's take a look at Thomas County Central's. Just sit back and enjoy, Mr. Bach. All right, turn us on. I'll call you back. Sorry, man. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
Let's go down to the sideline and Lisa Weiss after that fine halftime performance.
All right, thanks, Jake. Now, joining me now is a very proud band director for Thomas County Central, Michael Mayhall. I know you guys have been here a lot. You're very familiar with the Georgia Dome.
We really love playing here. We've had the opportunity to play here in the playoffs and also in the Kickoff Classic. It's just a wonderful experience for the kids. It'll be the only time some of them will ever get to come up here. And we really enjoy it every year and look forward to doing it hopefully again in the future.
Now, I know you went old school on us today. You picked some Santana, if I can get that out, and some Who. Why is that? Who are you?
Well, there's kind of really been a revival of that kind of music amongst the young people. And, the Who and Santana, that was cool back in the 60s and 70s, they're still listening to a lot. It's kind of been revived. And Chuck Mangione, of course, he'll be forever Latin rock. And we wanted to kind of make our show around rock and roll. It was something that the kids really enjoyed, and they had input into the selections.
I know you've been here a lot. Do you always try to change it up and do something new and exciting every year?
Yes, every year. We do something completely different here every year. And, we just really like coming.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure.
We'll send him right back up to you, Steak.
All righty, we'll come back. More great halftime festivities. And the second half not far away either, guys. Thomas County Central, Marist. They're locked up in a good one. 4A semis, 14 all. We'll come back to the Dome in just a little bit. We are back at the Georgia Dome in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. Steak Shapiro and Bo Bach getting ready for the second half. But first, let's set things down. It's the Marist War Eagle marching band putting on a great performance. Let's go down to the field right now, and Lisa Weiss getting some more information on a impressive halftime performance.
Thanks, Steak. Joining me is Scott Sparrowhawk, who is the assistant band director here at Marist High School. And I know I was looking at this band. They are a little small, and they looked a little young to me.
Yeah, we actually have, this year is the first year we've had 7th graders in a long time. We have 2 7th graders this year, Ross Snell and Ben, I'm drawing a blank because I got a camera in front of me, but he's actually away at Honor Band right now. We have several students that are away at Honor Band. But we also have a lot of 8th graders in there, a lot of young kids, definitely. We have some seniors in there also. Actually, our rock band is full of seniors, and we're going to be graduating a bunch of them, and we're fortunate to have them. We actually use them as kind of a crutch for our band because we are such a small band that it helps to have the amplified instruments out there. And we have a very, very talented rock band this year, and we're fortunate to have them. They're out there rocking out for us. So.
And they did a great job. Thank you so much. We're so happy to have you and your Marist band. Steak, back up to you.
Scotty Sparrowhead bringing some game, Mr. Bach, at halftime here. Speaking of game, let's get back to ours, and here's some highlights from the first half. The 4A semis, baby. It's been a lot of action early on. Touchdown gets Hunter Harper from Eric Walden. But here comes Sean McVay, the senior. He's going to answer back. Here's the speed. He gets outside Mo. 7-all.
Yeah, just on an outside keeper.
And here's Walden, the quarterback. Look at this. Ooh, look at the juke right there. Chris Davis faked out of his pants, and there goes Hager. Here's the play of the half. McVay rolling right. Anderson Russell getting behind the secondary somehow with 30 seconds left in the half. Hello. Touchdown, Marist. And what do you know, one way or another, Bo, it was going to be a tie game or right there.
Well, don't you know it's going to come down to the final play of the 4th quarter.
Here are the stats: 187 yards on the ground for Thomas County Central, 221 yards to Marist's 139. Interesting also time of possession. Marist has held the ball longer, not as many yards though. And passing yards, 50 yards for Marist. Neither team throws it much against Thomas County Central's 34 yards as well. And I don't believe we had a turnover, Bo, in the first half. Very well played. Not a lot of penalties. This is 2 of the best teams in the state playing at the top of their game.
And I think surprising rushing yards for TCC versus that quick Marist defense.
When we come back, we're going to tee it up again. It's 3rd quarter action. It's the 4A semifinals on a Friday night in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. We will come back. Thomas County Central 14, Marist War Eagles 14. And we're back here at the Georgia Dome in downtown Atlanta. A halftime score of 14-all in the 4A semifinal game, and the head coach of one of the great high school programs in the state, Ed Pilcher, is with Lisa Weiss.
All right, thanks, Steak. Now, this game so far has been everything it's cracked up to be.
Yeah, it is. You know, been a great first half for the fans. You know, we back and forth. We're just making too many mistakes offensively. We've moved the football, and we've had possessions down there to put points on the board, and 2 other occasions didn't do it. But we got to quit shooting ourselves in the foot. Defensively, we just got to stop the big play. And if we can do that, you know, we got a chance.
Are you concerned that momentum's changed with Marist scoring that last touchdown before the half?
Well, not so much. We're going to, start this half off. You know, we're okay. We just got to lock and load, get back in there and do the things we do best and play with that sense of urgency that we need.
All right, thank you, Ed Pilcher. Good luck to you in the second half.
No nonsense, Ed Pilcher.
Well, you know what? He wants to stop the big play, and Alan Chadwick knows he needs the big play. And that's what this series has been about, big plays, and that's how Marist was able to tie it up. And he wants to take them away. Alan wants more of them.
Yeah, no question, Bo. And this is such a impressive group. So many state titles from Thomas County Central. And they are very comfortable late in the game, as Marist can tell you.
Well, Marist is overdue for a win late in the game. And as we've mentioned, 37 seniors on this Marist squad. And this would be a devastating loss for them after the series they've had with these guys, meeting as often as they have in the state semifinals.
Well, there's no question, Bo, but you're losing again. If Thomas County Central doesn't exist, then Marist probably has 2 or 3 state titles of their own lately, and that's just the reality. They've always had to come head-to-head with the Yellow Jackets, and it has been it's been incredibly exciting football, but unfortunately for the Marist War Eagles, they've always been on the wrong end of it, and it usually comes in a heartbreaking play. You know, Joe Burns threw a halfback option play on a 2-point conversion, or a late play years ago to beat Marist, and that was just one of those occasions where Thomas County Central went on to win the state title.
Another time right at the end, Ed Pilcher goes for a 2-point conversion and gets it.
Yeah, that was last year.
Last year, yeah.
The semis. And then, of course, last year, Thomas County Central loses in the finals 42-27 in the state championship game. And that's something Thomas County Central not used to. That's getting knocked out.
You talk about a halfback option pass. We're going to see it. We're going to see more. We're going to see every conceivable type of big play. These teams have got to find a way to match each other's scoring.
The Yellow Jackets got here with a first-round win over Pebblebrook. Second round, they beat the defending state champ Thompson 24-14. And last week, they hurled a shutout 20-0 against MLK, or should I say, put together a shutout. I'll tell you about Marist as well in a second. Here's the kickoff, second half underway. And Middleton coming across the 20. He's at the 23, 25, and he is brought down at the 30-yard line. A fine return for the War Eagles. They will start 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line.
Great run back for Middleton. Broke tackles at the end of that, driving his legs, kept his feet going, and here comes Marist. They want to, let's see what adjustments they've made.
Marist got here by way of a win the first week over LFO 38-14. Beat Westlake 36-6, and of course the thriller against Shaw 18-17 last weekend to get them to the Georgia Dome. 1st and 10 at the 31. Sean McVay under center. Let's see what they have to start the second half, and he will keep it and get hammered with a gain of about 2, but he pays the price. Mark Pickett, along with a number of linebackers there, Freeman and Diggs look like in on the play as well.
And he juggled the ball as it came out. Look at him fake the handoff here. Didn't hand it off, came outside, and they were waiting for him inside and outside.
Well, great decision, Bo, not to hand it off, though, as you saw.
And a good job to keep control of the ball, because it was bobbled.
Sean McVay, when you're playing in this kind of an offense, takes so much pounding over the course of a football game, especially now that they're in the playoffs, Bo, week in and week out. If they win tonight, Marist will host the state final back home on Friday night. Otherwise, Thomas County Central with a win will be on the road against tomorrow night's 4A winner. That's the wishbone formation, Mr. Bach.
Yes, it is.
Dead ball foul, delay of game on the offense. Replay, second down.
Man, that's a tough turnover.
It really is. It seemed like a quick clock. Coach Chadwick says you're watching the game. Watching you watch or watching the game?
2nd and 12, 11 minutes to go here. Let's see what Sean McVay only put it up a couple of times in the first half, but had some success late in that huge play to Anderson Russell. 2nd and 12. McVay will keep it across the 40 to the 45-yard line. Gain of 15 yards on the play.
Well, one thing you can see on that play is the vision that McVay has. Look at this. He turns the corner. He could have gone outside right there. He comes back inside, and just a great sense of where he is on the field.
You know, Bo, Ed Pilcher, the head coach of Thomas County Central, can tell you that he doesn't think momentum was a factor. I think otherwise. I think that Marist has great energy going into the halftime at 14-7. They've come out with that same at 14-all, and they've come out with it here in the third quarter. The handoff is inside. It's Anderson Russell, and he is dragged down after a gain of 4. Patrick Diggs, number 44, the junior linebacker, with the hit. But Bo, you agree? A lot of energy.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think they chalked it up and thought that they were going to go in with a 7-point lead, and then they come back. Here you see the counter play here, which I don't think Marist ran in the first half. I don't recall it. Everybody blocks left, the running back comes back right.
Yeah, Marist it looked like they'd be down a touchdown at the half, and they get the
Got
score.
to be disappointed.
Well, Marist with the touchdown, Bo, tied it at 14-all.
That's what I'm saying. Got to be disappointed for Thomas County.
No question. 2nd and 6. The keeper, McVay, first down, and Marist has come out of the locker room, and they are getting it done on the ground. Brandon Burns, the senior free safety, with a hit. But clearly, Sean McVay starting to take control here in quarter number 3, and look at the pounding he continues to take.
But look at the quick decisions he's making. Obviously, Coach Chadwick just read the riot act out there and said, guys, we're going in slow motion out here. They're moving faster, they're moving quicker. Their blocks are more crisp. Here's Sean McVay, 9 rushes tonight for 29 yards, and of course, that TD in the first half.
They'll measure for the first down. I thought he got it, and he did. 1st and 10 at the Thomas County Central 44-yard line. I talked to some of the coaches of the Marist sideline prior to the game, and they said simply they think Sean McVay is the #1 player in the state. There's nobody they'd rather have. He said athleticism is great, but his knowledge, and he's such a smart player to run this option offense, that's unprecedented. McVay, the pitch. Anderson Russell, he's got some room. Across the 40, doesn't he run hard, go down to the 36-yard line. He looks like a big-time tailback when he gets that pitch.
He really does. He looks like a freight train coming forward. Look at McVay on this. He's also got that left-handed pitch.
Listen to the sound here, Bo.
Well schooled. Listen to this.
Well, so much of that is created, Bo, by Anderson Russell, and getting a little head of steam there.
Yeah.
And then the pads meet. I mean, he really has had a good night. And talking to the Marist coaches, they're waiting for this junior to break out. He's having his breakout game tonight. 8:30 to go. 2nd and 3. They're at the 37-yard line of Thomas County Central. Sean McVay under center. We're tied at 14 in the 4A semifinals. The handoff goes to Ascudi, the fullback. He's got enough for the first down. Clock will continue to move. A heck of a drive to start quarter number 3.
Marist showing us different formations now. 2 tight ends that time. He was able to run outside and pick up the first down.
They've got a lot of weapons on offense. Certainly Anderson Russell has shown that tonight. Ascudi, the senior fullback. Chris Davis, the senior tailback. And Sean McVay, of course, rushing for almost 1,000 yards as the senior quarterback. 1st and 10. Coming up on the 8-minute mark of quarter number 3. Marist threatening at the 34 of Thomas County Central. Out of the wishbone, McVay under center. Handoff straight ahead, Chris Davis. He gains about 3 on the play.
2 tight ends, again, a pure wishbone look, and that's the play. That and the dive to the fullback is what you have to establish to make the wishbone go. And obviously getting positive yards out of that, 4 or 5 yards.
Speaking of tight ends on the Marist War Eagles, Will Heller, current tight end of the Tampa Bay Bucks, played at Georgia Tech. He is a Marist alum.
9th play of the drive for Marist.
The handoff is straight ahead. A nice bit of running by Chris Davis. And that offensive line right side, Bo, looked like Andy Norwood and Casey Murphy opened up a hole. We'll see it again on the replay.
They are more crisp, and you see the fake to the fullback, and they give it to the halfback.
Look at that job on the right side there.
Great block there.
And that was Michael Escuti, Bo, the fullback, lead blocking, doing a phenomenal job. We talked in the first half about Thomas County Central's job up front. Well, certainly Marist is doing the job right now. 3rd and 1 at the 25. A drive that has already taken up almost 5 minutes in the 3rd quarter. The give is to Escuti. He did not get it, or is he close? What do you think?
Can't see where the mark is. No, where the mark is not a first down. Go for it on 4th down.
Oh, no question, I think.
Big game, yep.
There's no hesitation from that sideline. The kids got right back in the huddle, and they'll go right back after. This is a huge play in this football game.
That's the 10th play of the drive, and I think that was the only negative yardage play.
And Bo, they've already taken up 6 minutes of time in the 3rd quarter. Thomas County Central has not had the football yet. Straight ahead. Anderson, Escuti, touchdown. The fullback Escuti into the end zone. Great job on that left side of the line.
Brendan McVeigh with the read. It was either give it to Escuti or make the pitch. And he made the right decision.
Well, Bo, you're exactly right. A 25-yard run. And that's what we're talking about Sean McVeigh, Bo. He has such a great sense of how to run this offense. When to keep, when to pitch, when to give it to the fullback. And right there, it was a big-time run from Michael Escuti, the senior. And all of a sudden, Marist in control. Wow, was that an impressive drive. 5 minutes and 53 seconds. They marched right down the field, and the War Eagles.
11 plays, 69 yards, 5:53. Just about 6 minutes off the clock, and now that puts the pressure for the first time tonight on Thomas County Central. Here you have it right here. Give it to him? Yes, he gives it to him. He saw the defender coming across to take him on, and that was the only decision he had, and made the right one.
Randy Jones and Brandon Burns both had a shot at him, but look at the 2 corners, the safety and corner.
There's Brandon Burns.
And, well, first Randy Jones had the initial contact, the corner, then free safety Brandon Burns comes out, and neither one of them wrapping up the big fullback. Watch it again, Bo. Here's the initial opportunity. That's number 3, Randy Jones, and then number 7, Brandon Burns. Here's another look at that score, Bo, and watch how well they executed.
Watch the body lean from Escuti here. That's what breaks this first tackle. That's what gets him
creates the leverage.
Space. Yep.
Well,
lowered his shoulder.
Marist trailed 14-7 with about 40 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. Now with 6 minutes left in the 3rd, they're up a touchdown.
And now for the first time, it's Thomas County's opportunity to come from behind.
Daniels fumbles, ball's on the ground. Marist has it. Wow. Brant Bennett looked like he picked it up. The senior.
Right off the chest plate on the shoulder pad. Here it is right here. Watch this. Let's it get into him. Hits right off the breastplate, and Marist could smell it. He really made a beeline for that pigskin.
That's the senior Brant Bennett, Bo, coming in, making a huge play. Been talking about the momentum, Bo. There's no question it is totally shifted to the Marist War Eagles. They'll take over. 1st and 10. They give straight ahead. Anderson Russell cut down for the gain of 2. Marist, though, making one big play after another.
Puts it in Escuti's belly, takes it back out. Russell with the carry.
Yes, indeed. And again, when you have a fullback like Escuti, who you just saw have that kind of run, you've seen what Anderson Russell can do. He's already had a huge run tonight of 39 yards and the touchdown catch. A lot of options, including the quarterback, Sean McVeigh.
5.5 left in the quarter.
2nd and goal from the 8. McVeigh gives straight ahead to Michael Escuti, and Marist knocking on the door. 3rd down and goal from about the 3.5. Actually, it's about 4.5, just inside the 5. is where they're going to mark it.
Look for them to go outside to the field side with McVay. He can make a decision out there in space whether he wants to pitch it or take it.
It's all about Sean McVay understanding what he wants to do here with the football and reading the defense to see what's available. Player in motion. The hand is up front, and no, McVay will keep it. He faked it to the fullback, Ascudi, who looked like he had a lane, Bo. McVay keeps it, and now they're going to have to, I would think, kick the field goal or not.
I think they may go for it if they don't get it. You've got Thomas County pinned down there. You see him right there reaching for the goal line. They went completely opposite from what I thought. They went to the boundary and they went to the strong side.
McVay will call the timeout. They're at the 1-yard line, Bo. A huge part of this football game. A field goal makes it a 2-score game, but a touchdown could be like a dagger, give you a 2-touchdown lead. Keep this in mind. Thomas County Central has not touched the football in the second half.
Now with only 4:23 remaining in the third quarter, and I know Coach Chadwick would love to go for this. He'd love to put a dagger in their heart, as you said. McVay getting his leg worked on right now.
Yeah, it looks
maybe
like
coming up a little cramps. This is a different surface, obviously, for these kids who have never played on this field turf before.
Let's go down to Lisa Weiss. She's on the sideline.
Thanks, Jake. Now, isn't it ironic? After Marist took the lead 21-14, their defensive coordinator was telling his defense that the next drive is going to be the most important drive of the game. And what do you know? Special teams comes up big and gets the ball back. And that can change the whole momentum of this game.
No question about it, Lisa. And look at Coach Chadwick. He can smell what a touchdown here would do. The frustrations are well documented. The Marist War Eagles both have come so close, and Thomas County Central always there to push them back. Tonight, an opportunity to break the winless streak, to advance to the state championship on their own home field, and they've got a touchdown lead. And Sean McVay's going to have the ball in his hand to try to make it a 2-touchdown lead.
Well, Scooty's your horse back there.
14 plays this quarter for Marist, 0 for Thomas County Central. McVay gives straight ahead, touchdown! Michael Ascudi having a very nice third quarter, thank you. And all of a sudden, the Marist War Eagles are up 2 scores.
Well, Ascudi has been the horse. He's been the guy. He's the big kid back there.
Well, Bo,
and he hit that hole in a hurry, and the Marist offensive line got off lickety-split quick.
Andy Norwood, Casey Murphy, Matt Rumsey, that is the right side of the offensive line for Marist, and they were the difference there. Perfectly run play, and give Chadwick credit. Coach said, we're going to punch this baby in, and that's blocked, though. The kick is blocked. The snap was fumbled. Kavoris Daniels, who fumbled the football on the kickoff in a nightmare play. Was he the one to get the...
Yeah, interesting. Kavoris Daniels, I thought, on the last extra point had a chance to block it.
Here's the
didn't lay out. Here it is there. Look at that, Scooty. Look at him drive. And great offensive line.
Patrick Cleason doing a nice job as well. The offensive, the tight end, grinding his way in there. Phenomenal start to quarter number 3. And Thomas County Central really finds themselves in a rough position here. 4 plays and 10 yards, a special teams turnover, the first one of the game by either club. And then when you got a Scooty and you got the ball on the 1-yard line, why not go to the big fullback?
Yeah, now your offense is antsy. Been on the sideline for most of the third quarter without touching the ball, without getting started. Now you want to make big plays.
Here's the block. Great job by Daniels, but again, a fumbled snap. It looked like a bobbled snap, certainly, by Chris Ascudi, his brother, Michael Ascudi's brother. Last 3 possessions for Marist. They had the bang-bang play at the end of the half that went for a touchdown. They had the big run, 25 yards by Ascudi, and then the 1-yard run. 3 straight possessions, 3 straight touchdowns. Thomas County Central says, just give us the football. 4 minutes left in the third quarter, and they haven't had it yet. They'll finally get it to the 20-yard line as David Dawson, who did not see much time in the first half, watches the ball sail over his head. How frustrating, though, goal for Eric Walden. Last time he was on the field, it was 14-all. Now he's on. He's down 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, now he's got to make something happen.
He's down 13 points. With that block, 2 touchdowns would give Thomas County Central the lead. And, Bo, are we setting ourselves up for another one of those deals where an extra point could tie it and a 2-point conversion can win it. That's usually what happens with these two
That's
teams.
the history of this series.
Walden gives straight ahead to Moses Cochran, and he gains about 5.
Don't forget, in the first half, TCC was getting big chunks of yardage on the ground.
Let's listen.
If he's coming at you, you break down and run the cowboy. Now, Tremaine, if the motion comes at you, Tremaine, if the motion comes at you, go down.
Second and 5. Back to live action here. Straight ahead drive, close to the first down for Moses Cochran. 3 minutes and 35 seconds left in the third quarter. Marist leading the Thomas County Central Yellow Jackets, both 27-14.
Thomas County Central is keeping their patience on offense and not doing anything wild, anything out of the ordinary, not going for that big play yet. An important third down here because you don't want to give Marist another possession in the third quarter.
The give is straight ahead, and they did not get it. Philip Prather comes up short. It looks like a punting situation. The last thing you want is to give him the ball back, but Andrew Deedy blocks up that hole, does a phenomenal job along with the left side of that defensive front, Taylor Cleveland and John Crawford.
Deedy didn't allow himself to get blocked there and did a great job.
And they're going to punt it, Bo, and they're down 13, and they're giving it back to a red-hot quarterback in Sean McVay. And this has to be, for Coach Chadwick, exactly how you want this thing to start playing themselves out. Timeout on the field. Looks like it's Thomas County Central will take it. They trail Marist 27-14. You're watching GPTV live 4A semifinal action at the Georgia Dome on a Friday night here in Atlanta, Georgia. 6-time state champ Thomas County Central in trouble right now. Marist, they won a state title in, I believe it was 1989.
That's correct, yeah. Well, Ed Pilcher, I don't think it was that timeout was to make a decision on whether to punt or to go for it, because you can't afford to do that down here. You don't want to give Marist a short field with a 2-touchdown lead. So it was just time running out and maybe personnel problems.
I want to remind you, Georgia Public Broadcasting has made it easier than ever to show your support for great local programs, like, of course, our coverage of the GHSA football playoffs. Simply visit the website, www.gpb.org. It's totally secure. It's simple to use, and it takes just 2 minutes. Even Bo Bach gets on the internet.
I live there.
Thank you for your support of Georgia Public Broadcasting. Bo, they're going for it. 4th and 1. That's what I thought was happening. And indeed, a big play in this football game here. Walden, the give, straight ahead.
He's got it.
And he keeps it for the first down. That was a gutsy call, but I think, frankly, Bo, with 2 minutes left in the third quarter, I don't think they had a choice.
With all the momentum on Marist's side, maybe that's what they were thinking.
Walden doing a good job waiting for the opening. You see him kind of delay at the line of scrimmage, Bo.
Yeah.
If you watch that replay, he kind of lets the thing develop and then takes it over to the right side. Jamel Daniels, Dean McDermott, his center and right guard there. Walden stumbles as he gives to Prather, straight ahead for 3 yards. DT with the tackle.
See Marist make that decision on the defensive front there. They went into an over defense.
You know, it's interesting, Bo, when the ball is at the 1 yard line. For Marist, they had no qualms about going for it. After the timeout, same decision reached by Thomas County Central. Both teams have converted their 4th downs. 2nd and 8. Rolling out Walden. He's got space. Cross the 40 down to the 43. Under the first down, Andrew Card with the tackle. It's time for Eric Walden to get his team back down the field.
That was a gain of 7 or 8 yards. See it right here.
This is where great players step up, Bo.
Well, obviously Eric Walden is doing his part.
I imagine Thomas County Central, the folks on that sideline, Bo, the fans certainly, a little shell-shocked. They were in control of this football game. They grinded it out in the first half, were pounding the football. They were out-rushing Marist by over 100 yards or close to it. And all of a sudden they turn around and look up, and they're down by 13 points. Not a position they're used to. Look at the total yards. Marist has come all the way back. Weldon wants to throw. He's in trouble. He'll get around the outside, still looking to throw. He'll flip it out. It's intercepted! Down the sideline! This is going to go for the touchdown! Chris Escudi into the end zone. Oh boy! 47 yards to the house. And Marist is opening things up.
Well, obviously Eric Walden should never have released that ball. Somebody clipped his heels. The pursuit was on him. They had the 3 wide receivers, and he tried to make something happen, and his arm might have been tipped on his
I don't think so, Bo.
Something.
I think he just made a very poor read, and they're going to go for 2, it looks like here, try to make this a 3-touchdown lead. Wow. Marist still being outgained in the game by almost 20 yards, may find themselves up as much as 21. Here's the 2-point conversion from the 3. McVay, little flip pass, wide open, touchdown. That is the tight end, Patrick Gleason.
That was set up the way Marist's been running the ball. What a great call down there.
Patrick Gleason, pow, right to the moon. And it's 35-14.
I'll forgive you for that.
Here's the play, Bo, the rollout.
Yeah, it was on his arm. He was on his arm.
Good call, Bo.
That was Greg Van Valkenburg.
Is it safe to say that the Escudi house tonight may be a
it'll be
pleasant place to be? Here's a 2-point conversion, by the way. Great little play action and a flip pass. Great call, Bo. You know, they haven't run that play. They haven't thrown the football. And a great time for Coach Chadwick to go to that. But Mr. Escudi, Michael, has a couple of touchdown runs. He's the senior.
That's Chris Escudi, the junior.
Michael has 2 touchdown runs. He's the senior. Chris has the return for the touchdown. He's the junior. And those 2 gentlemen have been all the offense in the second half.
Well, you talk about the Escudi household. It's kind of like my nephew, Billy Burns, when they win that Little League World Series. We had him on the air, remember, and he said, what are you going to do today? He said, we're going to party all night, running up and down the halls.
And that's in the end zone for the touchback. Yeah, he was, what, 10 years old when he told you that?
They'll be running up and down the halls of the Escudi home tonight.
Man, oh man, what a story. And Bo, I go back to what I said a few minutes ago. Thomas County Central is shell-shocked. 4 unanswered touchdowns for Marist. And El Pilcher wondering, how did my quarterback make a play like that? That's who you want the ball in his hands. And this kid has battled all night long, but just got beat there. And Escudi took advantage of it. Walden rolling left and cut down. He did not look comfortable in that play. Took it back into the heart of the defense, Bo, and got cut down. I'm sure he is right now, confidence a little shaken. Yeah. And he looked like it on that run, Bo. He did not seem to be as confident as he's been all night. Yeah, he seemed to run into the heat.
And Marist defensive end David Pinelli did a great job there of containing him, keeping his position, making him cut back inside. The difference to me in this game is the Marist seniors, 37 seniors, they're more poised than is the younger Thomas County Central team with only 12 seniors.
Eric Walden now in his 2nd and 8. The give is inside, and a nice run by Moses Cochran for the first down, and that will end the 3rd quarter. And all I can tell you is if you're a fan of the Marist War Eagles, you had a heck of a 20 minutes right there. 12 minutes on the clock, about 20 minutes in real time. And that's all it took for Marist to seize control of this 4A semifinal game with touchdown runs. 2 of them by Michael Escudi, an interception return for a touchdown by Chris Escudi. And they will not get this play off. Well, they did. Right at the end of the half, he throws it downfield. Great catch by Hunter Harper, who's already got a touchdown catch, and now we end the 3rd quarter after a gain there. A big one down the field, 26 yards. We'll see what Thomas County Central has as we wind down the half. Here's the throw, 26-yard completion. Marist, though, that's the interception, lead at 35-14. You got some great shots. It's a Friday night in downtown Atlanta, and you're watching the 4A semifinal matchup between two teams that have battled for years in some of the closest games, the most exciting games in the state. Marist and Thomas County Central. Marist has never beaten this team. 3 times after losing to Thomas County Central, they watched Thomas County go on to win the state title. Right now they got a 3-touchdown lead, and the give is straight ahead to Moses Cochran on 1st and 10.
Moses Cochran is a good-looking back, and I think Coach Pilcher now is trying not to put the ball in the air, but he does have a great delivery, does Eric Walden.
His right hand seems to be banged up, Bo.
Yeah, looks like it.
Second and 5, 11:30 to go, 4th quarter. Down by 3 touchdowns, Thomas County Central in desperate mode. And tough deal there. The pursuit, ferocious.
Well, they were confused right from the beginning. They came out in the wrong formation, and Walden was trying to shift people around.
Yeah, Eric Walden really found himself in trouble there. Both Greg Van Valkenburg was in on that play. John Crawford, defensive tackle.
See, Walden wanted to pitch it that time, but he went the wrong way, did Moses Cochran.
And motion plays such a key role in football. And with Marist with a 3-touchdown lead and 10 minutes left, they can smell it, and they are attacking. And right now, they got Thomas County Central on their heels. 3rd and 7, 38-yard line of Marist. Walden gets the ball deflected, almost intercepted. But Bo, it was David Pinelli who knocked it down. Eric Walden, whether he's hurt or whether he is still flustered by that interception return for a touchdown, does not look like the same quarterback we saw in the first half.
No, he doesn't. And, you know, that comes from the whole team, too, Steak. As we said, this Marist team is a senior-laden squad. And Thomas County Central, relatively young. And you see, that momentum like that will affect the younger team more so than the veteran club.
Well, Walden's a senior, Bo.
Oh, Walden is, but he needs some help.
Moses Cochran, a senior. Hunter Harper, a senior. David Dawson out tonight. He's a senior. Maybe that is hurt as well. 4th down. He'll run, and he is still on his feet. Oh, what a play. Ball's loose on the turf, and it looks like Marist may have it. No indication. That looked like a fumble to me, but I don't know if his knee was down. And we're waiting for the call from the field. It's enough for the first down. Looks like where the ball is for sure. That second effort by Walden, literally knowing on 4th down he had to make a play. And now we will wait for a ruling. Marist has the football.
That's just tough for Eric Walden.
Look at it.
A great play
he
here.
Needs to get to about the 31-yard line. And look at that play ball.
Look at the balance.
He's got 10 guys in pursuit, and he was getting close
illegal formation on the offense. The penalty is declined. First down.
That ball was knocked out of his hands by Greg Van Valkenburg.
Well, Eric Walton, Bo, is in a lot of pain right now. He's in a lot of pain. I don't know if he's going to be able to even... They're talking to him on the sideline. He took some vicious hits, Bo. I mean, these kids are laying it all on the line. High school football, amateur athletes, absolutely giving everything. First and 10, handoff is straight ahead. Ride the train that got us here. Michael Ascuti straight ahead. And there is no question, the best friend the Marist War Eagles have right now is that 4th quarter game clock.
It's that clock. And that's what Coach is doing right now. Coach Chadwick, he's got a tight formation, he's got 2 tight ends, and he just wants to run some clock.
I will stand on my head in my boxers if they throw the football in the next few downs. Nice pitch out there. That's Chris Davis. Straight ahead, first down, Marist.
Chili, man, Chili Davis.
Did you hear what I told you?
I heard you, and I refuse to consider what might happen.
That doesn't hold any appeal to you, Mr. Bach, huh? First and 10, 9:52 to go in the game. Marist in complete control of this football game. If you're just joining us, this is the 4A semifinal. Thomas County Central really dominated the first half and was in control. About 40 seconds left. And here you see that great run straight ahead by Chili Davis. Player down in the field. Looks like it's Brandon Burns. Really may have more than tweaked his ankle. Really in some pain. And that's when Sean McVeigh, great sportsmanship there. What a great example these two teams have shown over the years of what high school football should be all about. But Sean McVeigh rolling right in a kind of a desperate situation late in that first half. Unloaded a touchdown pass to Anderson Russell. That was a 42-yard pass on a broken play. He got behind the secondary, and that just opened the floodgates. 3 more scores since then, and Marist has not looked back. Wishbone formation behind McVeigh. They give it to Chili Davis. Straight ahead, and Marist mashing Alex Selzillo up front with Chris Bradford and Andy Norwood doing a super job on that offensive line.
We're totally flip-flop from the first half when Marist defense was on the field, and now it looks as though Thomas County's wearing down a little bit. They've been on the field that entire third quarter, and now the first 3 minutes of the fourth.
Look at Chili Davis creating the contact there, Bo. You know, there's no question in my mind this game turned on that play towards the end of the half. Going into the locker room tied up, I think Marist thought they had dodged a bullet. They didn't play that well in the first half, and they have not looked back. Ascuti straight ahead. He's very close to a first down. They will probably have to measure on 2nd and 3. Regardless, they'll get another down, and maybe one more after that if they go for it on 4th down.
Well, he's giving them the right foot mark, which looks pretty good. I think he may have it.
The clock shows 8:34. Now keep in mind, if Marist gets the win next Friday night, the winner of Statesboro and Tucker will come to Marist for the state championship.
And that game is tomorrow night at 6 o'clock right here on GPTV. Steak Shapiro and yours truly will be back to bring you that game.
We'll be right here.
There by the nose of the football.
Coach Chadwick just hoping his team can continue to do what they're doing. They're a phenomenally coached team. They've got a senior quarterback in Sean McVeigh who absolutely knows how to run this offense. Knows when to pitch, knows when to keep, knows when to hand off inside to his fullback, Michael Ascuti. 9 rushes, 53 yards, a couple of touchdowns. It is such a weapon to have someone like that on the field. And Coach Chadwick has got Marist football at really maybe the highest point they've ever been. This is a football powerhouse.
Well, and don't forget what Ed Pilcher has done at Thomas County also.
That goes without saying, no question. Escudi will carry the fullback going east-west there. Probably not the best deal for him. Wants to go straight ahead. Jimmy Dawson, the junior, number 20, comes up, makes a hit. Gain of 2 on the play, but the clock continues to run under 8 minutes now to go in quarter number 4.
You saw those Marist kids smiling in that previous huddle. They're feeling very good about themselves, and they...
Question. The best friend the Marist War Eagles have right now is that fourth quarter game clock.
It's that clock. And that's what Coach is doing right now. Coach Chadwick, he's got a tight formation, he's got 2 tight ends, and he just wants to run some clock.
I will stand on my head in my boxers if they throw the football in the next few downs. Nice pitch out there. That's Chris Davis. Straight ahead, first down, Marist.
Chili, man, Chili Davis.
Did you hear what I told you?
I heard you, and I refuse to consider what might happen.
That doesn't hold any appeal to you, Mr. Bach, huh? First and 10, 9:52 to go in the game. Marist in complete control of this football game. If you're just joining us, this is the 4A semifinal. Thomas County Central really dominated the first half and was in control. About 40 seconds left. And here you see that great run straight ahead by Chili Davis. Player down in the field. Looks like it's Brandon Burns. Really may have more than tweaked his ankle. Really in some pain. And that's when Sean McVay, great sportsmanship there. What a great example these two teams have shown over the years of what high school football should be all about. But Sean McVay rolling right in a kind of a desperate situation late in that first half. Unloaded a touchdown pass to Anderson Russell. That was a 42-yard pass on a broken play. He got behind the secondary, and that just opened the floodgates. 3 more scores since then, and Marist has not looked back. Wishbone formation behind McVay. They give it to Chili Davis. Straight ahead, and Marist mashing Alex Salzillo up front with Chris Bradford and Andy Norwood doing a super job on that offensive line.
We're totally flip-flop from the first half when Marist defense was on the field, and now it looks as though Thomas County's wearing down a little bit. They've been on the field that entire third quarter, and now the first 3 minutes of the fourth.
Look at Chili Davis creating the contact there, Bo. You know, there's no question in my mind this game turned on that play towards the end of the half. Going into the locker room tied up, I think Marist thought they had dodged a bullet. They didn't play that well in the first half, and they have not looked back. Escudi straight ahead. He's very close to a first down. They will probably have to measure on 2nd and 3. Regardless, they'll get another down, and maybe one more after that if they go for it on 4th down.
Well, he's giving them the right foot mark, which looks pretty good. I think he may have it.
The clock shows 8:34. Now keep in mind, if Marist gets the win next Friday night, the winner of Statesboro and Tucker will come to Marist for the state championship.
And that game is tomorrow night at 6 o'clock right here on GPTV. Steak Shapiro and yours truly will be back to bring you that game.
We'll be right here.
There by the nose of the football.
Coach Chadwick just hoping his team can continue to do what they're doing. They're a phenomenally coached team. They've got a senior quarterback in Sean McVay who absolutely knows how to run this offense. Knows when to pitch, knows when to keep, knows when to hand off inside to his fullback, Michael Escudi. 9 rushes, 53 yards, a couple of touchdowns. It is such a weapon to have someone like that on the field. And Coach Chadwick has got Marist football at really maybe the highest point they've ever been. This is a football powerhouse.
Well, and don't forget what Ed Pilcher has done at Thomas County also.
That goes without saying, no question. Escudi will carry the fullback going east-west there. Probably not the best deal for him. Wants to go straight ahead. Jimmy Dawson, the junior, number 20, comes up, makes a hit. Gain of 2 on the play, but the clock continues to run under 8 minutes now to go in quarter number 4.
You saw those Marist kids smiling in that previous huddle. They're feeling very good about themselves, and they know that victory is well within their grasp.
What is it like that?
Finally got over the hurdle.
What is it like that offensive line, Bo, right now? You know,
this is where you get better. It doesn't make any difference how tired you are. With a lead like this and a goal that you've strove to achieve, this is where you just get better.
Wishbone formation behind McVay. 2nd and 8, 46-yard line. Marist taking control of this football game and maybe of the semifinal matchup. They go to Anderson Russell, and he plows ahead on the little misdirection. Again, that left side of the offensive line, Alex Cizillo, Andy Norwood, the center, and Chris Bradford doing a super job there.
Well, they're doing a good job of running some clock now. 7:08 remaining.
You know, Bo, I would think you'd be appreciative of how many mentions I've given the offensive linemen tonight.
Well, that was very good. Considering I was a defensive lineman.
Well, I know, but there's guys in the trenches.
I mean, you probably thought you were doing me a favor there.
Well, I mean,
I don't like offensive line.
No.
I've never liked offensive line.
They beat you up too bad over the years.
They don't beat you up. If they were tough, they were playing defense.
3rd and 4. Escudi has it, and he is right there. I think he may be about a half a yard short in trying to get the first down. They're going to measure for this one.
Well, these timeouts for measurements have been very good for
first down.
Thomas County.
He's got it.
Chance to catch their breath and get their wits about them and try to stop this Marist drive.
Effort by Escudi. Man, does he look good. I think Marist fans will look back at this club, the way it has been put together, and certainly think about all the elements that have really made them so dangerous. And certainly the combination of Escudi and Anderson Russell, kind of a little thunder and lightning, and then the quarterback McVay, very impressive. 6 minutes to go in this football game, and the handoff is right there to Chili Davis, who we should be mentioning as well. Bo, they are blowing up.
Did you see him hit
Thomas
that
County
hole?
said, oh,
did you see his acceleration? Watch this.
Look at that hole, though. Wow.
His acceleration, he gets to the hole. That offensive line doing a dynamite job. They're smelling it, they're feeling it.
Dominating. Total domination right now. Thomas County Central defense has been on the field, Bo, it seems like
The entire second half.
Yeah, the entire second half and the end of the first half on that drive. Remember, they took over McVay, I think, about the 20-yard line, and you wonder whether they would even try to even go downfield. That was at the end of the first half. 4 touchdowns later, they're still knocking on the door again. 2nd and 1. Straight ahead. Michael Escudi. He says the ball came loose. It has. Thomas County Central has it. And that is the last thing Coach Chadwick wanted to see.
Boy. He'll get a stern look as he comes to the sideline. You have to harken back, Steak, to that play that Maris made just before the half, the pass over the top off the option run, which made it 14-14. And that took a lot of steam out of Thomas County Central as they went into intermission and then came out, and Maris just built on that momentum.
Great job trying to go after the football. It came loose right before he hit the ground. Forced to a passing situation. Walden connects downfield at the 40-yard line, out of bounds. Catch is made by Randy Jones. He also is, of course, the corner that has played so well, the senior corner for Thomas County Central. 5 minutes and 5 seconds to go. 35-14 Maris. Bo, I would have bet anything this thing would have come down to the last series, the last play. It still might, but how much magic is left in the arm of Eric Walden? He rolls right, flips it downfield, and he's looking again for Randy Jones, and it comes up short, flag down on the play.
Well, they tried to flood a zone there and was not able to fit it in. Illegal procedure.
The Maris defense can't say enough about them this half. I mean, they create the key play of the half. Again, it's a 2-touchdown game. It's a 13-point game. Not only do they get the pursuit and pull the arm down, but Chris Escudi is astute enough, I should say, to be standing there, get the pick, and go back down the sideline.
It must be late for you.
I haven't had dinner.
By the way, Eric Walden, don't forget, went out last series with that tender ankle, and you can see him. He's very gingerly moving around on it.
Illegal motion on the offense. Replay first down.
You know, on the fumble by Walden, they had an illegal formation in there as well, which was declined by Marist. They've had some problems, it seemed like, in their offensive set in the second half. And right there, great job trying to strip it loose. I don't know how he held on to that football.
Yeah, I don't either. And you know what? He would have taken that. It was there. The run was there for him. And I think that ankle is just so sore that he can't take off. Watch the way this opens up for him. Right there, right there. That's the hole he normally would take if the receiver's not open.
John Marshall with the play. Bo, I have no idea how he held on to that ball. If you watch the replay, look how strong his right arm is. Look at this. Literally,
great job.
Flexes the bicep, you see, to hold on with one hand. I mean, that shows you how tough that kid is, Eric Walden. Super job holding on to the football. 2nd and 17. Walden's got time. He's got a whole field in front of him. He won't run it. He throws it downfield. Man open. It is caught. Moses Cochran out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Bo, I think Walden is really banged up because he had about 20 yards of running space, but a phenomenal throw, too. You give him credit. Moses Cochran bobbling it but making the catch. And if you're Marist, Bo, you can't give up a play that big.
You can't lose the receiver in back of you. I'm just wondering if that's a situation where it took so long to develop. See how ginger he is?
47 yards on that play, Bo.
Yeah. That ball was almost 50 yards.
Why not slip back in somewhat of a cover two of sorts and just a prevent type defense? And the last thing you need is a quick strike. 4:09. Thomas County Central has a lot of heart, and they're coming down the field. Walden's got a man open. Caught! Out of bounds at the 1-yard line. A strike to Hunter Harper.
Well, I don't know. Their secondary is not playing very smart defense. That's for sure at stake. Both times receivers were wide open out there. Safety's giving the middle of the field a lot of attention, and nobody in the middle of the field. And on the previous play, the Marist corner had his back to the receiver. The back was outside him, and he was watching the middle of the field.
Thomas County Central, 4 minutes to go in the game, and now looking to punch one in right here. Touchdown, they'll give it to him. Moses Cochran And this is the way a champion performs, Bo. Thomas County Central facing second down, long yards.
And I think Marist might have underestimated Eric Walden's ability to throw it.
Yeah,
He's
I agree.
a good-looking thrower.
I agree, and it's not something they've done a lot of. They connect on a big, what was it, a 47-yard play to the sideline. They come back with a 19-yard play to the goal line. Then they punch it in, and hey, 3:58 to go, and this is going to be a 2-touchdown game if Abarca can make the kick, and he does. Thomas County Central down 3 touchdowns. Marist driving the football down the throat. They get a turnover, and they go 73 yards in 2:17, Bo. And don't go away, folks. This thing could get interesting.
Now here you see it right here, just a quick hit or a dive, and just a part of the ball has to cross the goal line, and you're given the touchdown. Now we're in store for an onside kick, because with under 4 minutes remaining and still down 2 scores, I think you have to look at that, especially.
Well, they're going to have to get one up.
Especially with the Marist offense has been moving the ball.
They're going to need an onside kick at some point, it looks like, with only 3:58 to go, down 2 touchdowns. But think about Coach Chadwick, Bo. Here he has been, had his heart broken time and time again against Thomas County Central. Last plays of game, 2-point conversions, halfback options, every conceivable way that you could lose gut-wrenching games. They're up 3 touchdowns, and they're driving the football. The only thing that can hurt them is a turnover. Next thing you know, 2 minutes later, it's a 2-touchdown game. I got to tell you, if they recover an onside kick, those Marist nerves are going to get a little fluttered over there on their sideline. This is scary stuff.
Well, they're not setting up for it now. Looks as though they're going to kick it deep and take their chances with their defense. I think their defense may be worn out. Marist is up close to the line of scrimmage. They've got it's a mortar kick out of bounds. Not a bad idea. A mortar kick to the wide side of the field. They were hoping to run under it. In effect, that is a type of onside kick.
You know, spending some time with that Marist team today and watching the intensity with which they were looking at this game, and a lot of people saying the last thing they wanted as the seedings came out was a date against Thomas County.
Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
A date with Thomas County Central here at the Georgia Dome, Bo. But they have risen to the occasion, and they have got a bunch of seniors that want to go out by beating their arch rival, and in many ways a team that has really broken the hearts of so many Marist classes prior to, and now it's all in their hands. 3:58 to go, 1st and 10, 35-yard line of Marist. Sean McVay under center. The give, it looks like it is the tailback, Anderson Russell. And 2 timeouts left for Thomas County Central. And they'll not use one here. And you know Marist is not going to put the ball in the air. So it's just a matter of watching that clock run.
Well, I would have taken one there. I think that sometimes coaches wait too deep into the game.
Well, but they've got a lot of things have to happen to get them back in the game. They may need a timeout somewhere down the line. I think they're going to try to go 3 and out here. You know they're not running. You know they're not throwing the ball. To try to cover this option offense that Sean McVay runs like a maestro. The give is to Ascuti, and that is a nice hunk of yardage, and about 2 yards away from putting this football game away. That is going to be it if they get the first down conversion here. And Bo, I got to be honest with you, the way Marist offensive line has performed, I don't see them not picking it up here, or probably would not go for it on 4th, but it wouldn't shock me because they have the football and they frankly don't want to give it up, especially the way their secondary played on that last possession.
Snake, that's why under 3 minutes I would have taken those 2 timeouts. And then you've got to stop them here still, obviously.
3rd and 2. And McVay, he keeps it, and he's got the first down. The senior quarterback smelling a chance to play a championship game for the state of Georgia on his home field. Makes the right read, Bo. I mean, you're just not going to stop Sean McVay this late in the game. with your line playing the way they are. This kid has got great energy. And as I said, I talked to the Marist coaches. They think he's the #1 player in the state in terms of what he does, how valuable he is, the amount of shots he takes, the beating that he takes. None of it matters. Last week it was a 77-yard drive over 8 minutes where they converted, I think it was 5 for 5 on 3rd down to beat Shaw 18-17. It's been different tonight. They have opened things up throughout the second half. The handoff straight ahead, banging his way down. Man, the junior is having a night for himself. Anderson Russell.
You know, Tulane is looking at McVay and vice versa, and he looks to me to be a service academy type of quarterback. Of course, at major college, he's going to play on the defensive side of the ball, presumably. But as Air Force Academy has had the quarterback out of the Atlanta area, he looks like that type of smart, heady, gutsy.
Big enough, though, to play in that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Listen, Bo, as an alumni of the Tulane Green Wave, I really believe there's no better decision that young man can make.
I don't want to see him go there and just waste 4 years of his life.
2nd and 1. Sean McVay. Hands off to Michael Escudi. If I could talk to the young man and say, look what it's done for me. 1 minute to go in this football game, approaching that. And the Marist War Eagles are going to break the string of losses that has haunted them to Thomas County Central. And in a class act, Thomas County Central trying to deal with what's a painful loss, but the Marist sideline, the Marist crowd, you see them.
They're crazy.
They smell it.
Chadwick.
You cannot say enough about Ed Pelcher. He'll take a knee, though. Ed Pelcher's group has won a lot of state titles, but this is Marist's night. And this is the night for seniors Sean McVay and Michael Escudi. And yes, indeed, Coach Chadwick has done it. And the hugging on the sideline, the emotion, a huge, huge contingent from Marist. Right underneath us here at the Georgia Dome. And with 43 seconds left, there's a timeout on the field. Bo, Thomas County Central absolutely got hit from all sides in the second half. I think they were shell-shocked after the play at the end of the first half.
That's when the momentum shifts. And Marist had it, they felt it, they didn't want to go in down in the score. They went in tied, and they made some adjustments at halftime. They came out more crisp, they came out more confident, and they came out like they wanted to win the game. They came out like a group of seniors.
Offense, defense, special teams. Offensively, Michael Escudi's 25-yard run, Bo, you talked about the leverage he used. That was the opening drive of the second half. Special teams, the fumble by Daniels, the recovery, and then the touchdown. And then defense, the interception and run back. They've done it all in the second half. 43 seconds to go. McVay will keep it. One more chance for Thomas County to inflict some pain. And I believe they are going to use their final timeout.
When you get under a minute and you're down 2 scores and you're saving your timeouts, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, why do you think he's calling timeouts here, Mr. Bachman?
Well, you know, why do you think he is?
Well, I think, you know what?
He wants to get the ball back and make a play.
Well, play to
the end, finish the drill.
Well, he's not going to get the ball back at 3rd and 10, Bo. This is the last play of the game. The reality is, I think he wants exactly. I mean, we're going to play this thing out. We're going to play this thing out every down and fight this thing to the end. And for a program that is absolutely at its peak, this is a very special night in Atlanta at the Georgia Dome for Marist.
Marist crowd brought their shakers. They've got it all going on.
Coming up, 9:30 or so, Camden County and Noonan. The fun continues. 5 games today, 5 semifinal games. That is your buddy Chili Davis straight ahead, and the clock will wind down on this one. A couple of NFL guys that attended Marist. Patrick Manning plays for the Bears. Will Heller plays for the Bucks. Perhaps they also taking note. But Marist has done it. They've beaten Thomas County Central as the clock will wind down on this one. There could not be a happier group of young men than the 37 seniors. Is that right, Bo?
Yeah, 37 seniors, and boy, they've wanted this after the frustration in 4 years past against Thomas County Central. What a great thrill for them to overcome that and be able to get this tremendous victory.
The Thomas County Central kids, nothing to hang their heads about. They are a classy bunch, a fabulous program. And tonight, it was meant to be for Marist, and it was meant to be for Sean McVay. He is a special young man.
And don't forget the Ascudi family.
Well, that's going to be a hell of a place to be tonight.
Run into those people and find out where they're going.
Well, all right, let's take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to hear, I hope, from the coach that he's got the monkey off his back, baby, in a big way. Marist wins it 35-21. This is the 4A semifinals. You're watching it. GP TV. Well, you couldn't write the script any better. The Marist, at least for fans and alumni and students and parents of the Marist War Eagles tonight. 35-21, they beat Thomas County Central. We will go down to the field with Lisa Weiss.
All right, Steak, thank you. Now, Coach Chadwick, you guys are headed to the state championship game for the first time in 14 years. And you also beat a team that has been kind of a thorn in your side for quite some time. What does this mean to you in your school?
Well, certainly this is a huge win for our football team and our program, our players, our fans, our coaches. I just can't say enough. You know, we're going for a state championship, and that's the ultimate goal, and that's what we've got our focus on. But this was a huge hurdle for us, getting over this hump of winning in the Dome and beating Thomas County. It makes it doubly good.
I know you have the utmost respect for Ed Pilcher. You can't say enough good things about him. And I understand that this was never a rivalry, but now it kind of can be. You got your first win in.
Well, now it might be a rivalry, now that we've got our foot in the door. So, but Ed does a great job with that program. They're the most well-coached team, I think, anywhere. And their kids played hard. I think we just came up with a couple of big plays in the second half on the kickoff return that they had. They fumbled. And then certainly the turnover, the interception return by Chris Ashcody. What a huge play that was.
And, I mean, speaking of huge, too, you've got 37 seniors on this team. We can't say that enough. I mean, this has got to be exciting for them.
Well, these kids have put a lot of work into it, a lot of hard work, a lot of tears shed. We started in January last year of morning workouts and went all through January, February, March, April, May, all the way through with hard workouts, had a great summer workout program, and the kids have responded well to what we've asked them to do.
Well, congratulations, Coach Chadwick, and good luck next week. Steak, back up to you.
Thank you very much, Lisa, and there you have it.
Well, that was the secret. Coach said, you know, we started in January. Mat drills.
There you go.
Mat drills.
You heard Georgia Bulldogs talk about it last year under Coach Rick. It was a great win for Marist. They will host the championship game on their home field, I believe, next week. And thanks to our friends up here, Michael Grimes and Richard Muster, for helping us get the scores and players out to you. And tomorrow night, Statesboro and Tucker in the 4A semis. We'll be back. On behalf of Mr. Bach, I'm Steak Shapiro. Coming up, the 5A championship game.
This broadcast of the 2003 GHSA football semifinals has been provided in part by Georgia's Electric Membership Corporations, IBEW Local 613, South Trust Bank, Kroger, your Dodge Dealers of Georgia, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and by State Farm.